welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to a live Manchester United news, transfer news show, update show on Amorim, and of course, match preview ahead of the Manchester United versus, apparently it's PAOK, but people keep giving me different ways to pronounce the team in Greece. I just call it PAOK. Can't go wrong that way. We will talk about that, the lineup, some shocking returns and injury boosts. Mason Mount breaking. Mason Mount might be available for a game. Ruud van Nistelrooy, could he be set to leave Manchester United? Sekou Kone impresses when playing for the under-19s yesterday. His minutes could come sooner rather than later. Transfer plan, predicted lineup, Amorim giving his opinion on the United squad, and more. So guys, please do go ahead and hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new, if you have not already. I'm on 96,890 subscribers. I'm 10 subscribers away from 96.9k, so if we can hit that by the end of the day, that would be amazing. So please subscribe if you're new. But let's get into the news, let's get into the content. Big up everybody in the chat. I've only seen 1 or 2 live chats come through, so I don't know if the live chat is working, so just someone put like test in there so I can see if it's working. But let's dive into the show. Ruben Amorim has already been asked by key decision makers behind the scenes to voice his opinion of the Manchester United squad. He will be given the chance to suggest improvements in areas he feels he could be let down. So we're going to talk about this first story, then we'll get into the second story. Okay, yeah, I can see people saying test. The chat is working, all good. But it has been said that Ruben Amorim has spoken to key decision makers behind the scenes to voice, by key decision makers behind the scenes to voice his honest opinion of the Man United squad. We will talk on what that could be. He will be given the chance to suggest improvements in January. It said there is potential for at least 2 fresh faces to move to United in January, and Ruben Amorim aims to make his mark in his new surroundings. Amorim is likely to pinpoint a left back and a central midfielder, 2 areas that need urgent bolstering. Now, with Amorim coming in, I think we all know it's going to be left wing back. Central midfielder could be the other. Now, we've been told that United were looking to bring in a left back and central midfielder way before Sqaud was even sacked in the January window. But Amorim has now had conversations with INEOS. He's given his opinion on the squad. He's probably given his opinion on who he might need. But I will say that opinion isn't concrete yet. Amorim could look at it from the outside, give his opinion on the squad, give his opinion on who he might need. But Amorim may work with the squad for a good month or so. And then once Amorim's worked with the squad a month, I think his opinion on players could change. I think his opinion on what he might need will change. So while we're going to talk about what Amorim's opinion is and what he feels that he needs, that I think could very much change. But obviously, INEOS are ready to apparently really back Amorim, and they want to make it work. Amorim is INEOS appointed manager. Amorim is the first head coach of Manchester United. This is INEOS's appointment, and they really want to make it work. They know that to make it work, they've got to get their transfers and absolutely everything spot on. They've got to get recruitment spot on to make this work. And we're going to talk about the United squad, and we're going to go through it quite quickly, of players that work and do not work in Amorim's system, and then players that I think Amorim would like, but I think they might not work in his system. Because there's a few players at United that have been told to go in the January window. They've been told to leave, which is interesting. Now, Victor Lindelof was one of those that United were looking to sell in January, but now Amorim's coming in because he plays 3 at the back. Stop advertising United. Because he plays 3 at the back, there's now sort of talk that Ruben Amorim is happy to keep Victor Lindelof at United. So we're going to go through the team. Ruben Amorim is more than happy with Andre Onana. I know some people don't like Onana, but he's had a good season. Amorim's more than happy with Onana. Victor Lindelof apparently is now set to stay in January but go in the summer. Victor Lindelof's contract will not be renewed, but instead of selling him in January like United planned, Man United are going to let him run down his contract because Amorim might need the extra centre back. Masraoui's safe. De Ligt is safe, and Harry Maguire is safe at United, although he'd have to prove himself for a contract extension under Amorim. He'd need to prove himself for a contract extension, so he could go for free. Lysandro Martinez is safe. Malacia is thought to be sort of axed at the end of the season. Leny Yoro is safe. Delo is safe, but I do have question marks around how he fits longer term into Amorim's system. Luke Shaw would be safe if he could stay fit, but because he can't stay fit, United will look to move on Luke Shaw. But if he stays fit, he will be a player that Amorim will use. Johnny Evans was set to go. He's safe till the end of the season, but then he will go. And Harry Amass is very safe. Harry Amass is one of Harry Amass, Mantato, and Obi Martin are probably the 3 academy players that I think really suit what Amorim wants the most. Obviously, you could talk about Godwill as well, and a couple of the midfielders coming through. But I think Harry Amass, Mantato, and Obi Martin are 3 academy players I look at, and I think they suit Amorim ball. So Harry Amass is seen as sort of safe. Mason Mount is a player that Amorim I think would take a liking to, but because of his injury record, I think he's got to have a sustained period of staying fit this season, or he's out in the summer. Bruno Fernandes is the big question mark. I think United want to keep Bruno Fernandes, but I do think that United could put Bruno Fernandes up for sale in the summer. I think Bruno's a good player. I think Bruno's one of our most important players, and I think he's very difficult to replace. But I do think because Amorim doesn't use a 10, he uses a shadow striker and he uses a number 8. It'll be interesting to see if Bruno's used as a shadow striker or a number 8 under Amorim, but I don't think he fully fits the system. But I think there's such a talented player in Bruno that you'd almost adapt the system to make it work for Bruno. You're a good manager. But I do think there's a possibility Bruno could go in the summer if he doesn't fit Amorim's system or Amorim's plans, if I was going to be totally honest. I think Alphonso Davies could be a real solid target for us. He won't want to be second fiddle to Mendy at Real. Well, he won't be second fiddle to Mendy at Real Madrid. Look, I think Alphonso Davies would be amazing, but unless we get into the Champions League, I think it's not going to happen. I would like Alphonso Davies at United, but I think he's Real Madrid bound. And even if he isn't Real Madrid bound, if we're not in the Champions League and we've been crap for 2 seasons, can we convince him to come? Probably not. I think he'd be perfect for Amorim ball, but I think he's gone. Eriksen will get to the end of the season, but United will sell. Apparently, United are open to offers for Eriksen in January, despite him having a good start to the season. But maybe United think he's played quite well this season. We'll take the money in January so we don't lose him on a free. Casemiro, United are open to offers for Casemiro in January. I think Casemiro's actually been quite good lately. If I was going to be honest, I've been quite impressed by Casemiro in recent games. But United will accept offers for Casemiro in January, but they do not expect any offers for him in January. It was also said that Manuel Ugarte will be very safe, Kobbie Mainoo will be very safe, Toby Collier could get a loan, and Dan Gore would probably get a loan spell. Now, Dan Gore is very, very highly rated, but because of injuries, he'll likely get a loan spell. In terms of forwards, Rasmus Højlund is 100% safe. Marcus Rashford is safe, despite people saying otherwise. Joshua Zirkzee, people have been talking about him being up for sale. There's already articles coming out that United are going to cut their luck with Zirkzee and sell him. There's a lot of articles coming out saying that we're going to sell Zirkzee, but no, Zirkzee is safe for now, and United think Amorim having a dual striker system could work well. Amad Diallo is safe, and United are hoping to pin him down to a new contract. Alejandro Garnacho is safe, but there is question marks around how he fits in Amorim's system. Anthony's been told to look for another club. Ethan Wheatley is safe, but could go out on loan. And Jadon Sancho, even though Ten Hag's not coming back, Jadon Sancho will not return, is what we've been told, just to give you a bit of a run-through of the squad as well. I do really like Toby Collier, but I think a loan might be quite good for him because he's also, it's not like he's 17, 18. He is sort of turning 21. I think he'll want those 30 minutes and he works hard, and I think a good championship loan would be really good for Toby Collier as well. Real Madrid will have Davies as left wing back and Trent as right wing back next year. Well, Trent and Davies don't play in back 5 systems. I think Davies could play in a back 5 system, but I don't know about Trent because I think he probably could because of his attacking talent. But I think Real Madrid will get Davies and Trent for free. I mean, imagine getting Davies and Trent, basically the best right back going forward and the best left back going forward in the world for free. You get both of them. It's so annoying, Real Madrid. You know what? I'm glad they got Mbappe and the team dynamics off, because Mbappe and Vinicius need to be on the wings and Real Madrid need a striker. That's what they need. So, I'm glad that not everything's perfect at Real Madrid, but the fact they can get Mbappe for free, then the following season get Trent and Alphonso Davies for free, it's not fair. I'm incredibly jealous and incredibly salty about that as well. But I want to get back into the news. I want to get back into some more transfer stories and updates going in. But Amorim will have to give a brutal and honest assessment on the United squad and could demand 2 signings in January. I'm falling asleep a bit today. I'm quite tired, so I do apologise if this is a shorter live stream than normal. I'm trying to sip the water because apparently water helps you stay awake. But it was said that Ruben Amorim will make a decision in the next few days about Ruud van Nistelrooy and his staff. Ruud's place is not guaranteed at the moment. No contract between the two as of today, but there's a possibility the two part ways. I don't want Ruud van Nistelrooy to part ways. I like him. I was excited when he came in. I'd like him around as an assistant. If Amorim sits there and decides he doesn't want Ruud van Nistelrooy, he doesn't need Ruud van Nistelrooy, then totally understandable. I get it. And that's Amorim's decision. He's bringing his coaches in. I'll back that. But I'd like Ruud to stay to the end of the season. I think he's got a good relationship with the players. I think he knows a lot about the club. And I think he could tell Amorim things about the club. And I think because of his relationship with players, he can help communicate things to Amorim to begin with. I'd like Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay, not maybe to the end of his contract, but at least stay to the end of the season. I wouldn't want him to part ways so soon. I think Rene Hake will part ways, but I personally wouldn't want Ruud van Nistelrooy to part ways. But if Amorim feels there's no need and that he's not gonna bring anything, we have to back Amorim. INEOS have to back Amorim's decision as well. Someone said Sporting bought Trincao, Hjulman, Gyökeres and Diamonde for less than 60 million. That's how much we spent on Mount. When you put it like that, that is quite concerning. And, obviously, they go for cheaper players and more aboard players, but the recruitment at Sporting has been top notch. And that's why the recruitment at United has also got to be top notch. Andrew said if we can't adapt to Amorim ball, Yoro, De Ligt, Martinez could be a very good setup. Diamonde take for 40 million. I agree. I think Yoro, De Ligt and Martinez is three good centre-backs to have, and that free pairing could work well under Amorim. But the only depth to that is Maguire, Evans and Lindelof, which isn't great depth. So we would definitely need a Diamonde, a Bramthwaite, or someone to add into that as well. I completely agree. To me, it's a bit silly to get rid of Ruud. There's a sizable Dutch contingent in the squad and obvious connections to the club. I agree. I understand getting rid of him in the summer, but the way I see it is I think Ruud van Nistelrooy should be at Manchester United from now until the end of the season. If Amorim doesn't want him, as Man United, you probably want to back that and just say, okay, if you don't want him, we're not going to, keep him around for him to get on your nerves. But I think it would make sense for Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay. Now, I want to talk about Sekou Kone. Now, Sekou Kone has obviously posted on Instagram, downloading. He's played 2 45-minute games for the academy. And in both games, he's been very impressive. From what I watched, which was the highlights, his ability to nick the ball, win it back. He likes the ball. He's quite comfortable on the ball. He likes to play it forward. I was really impressed with what I saw from Sekou Kone last night for Manchester United. If you don't know, it was full-time Manchester United 6, Salgiris 0. This was the under-19 side, a dominant display from Adam Lawrence's under-19s, and Sekou Kone got 45 minutes in person with one of the stronger teams. He looked very bright, and as Academy Scoop said, he was breaking up play, progressing the ball well at several occasions, and the three things I noticed was him nicking the ball back, his ability and comfortability on the ball to play it forward, and that's something that we really need in the first team squad. Now, I'm not saying he's ready for the first team squad. He could be a long way off. He's only playing 45 minutes with the Academy, but I'm saying as a profile of player and what he might become, it is the kind of player that we need for the first team squad, is what he could become, but isn't quite there yet as well. Hjulman should have been priority since a year ago. Can't believe we never went for him. Well, I thought Mats Wiefer and Amadou Onana were other players that we didn't go for. Hjulman, Mats Wiefer, Amadou Onana and Yusuf Fofana were the four midfielders I picked out that I thought ticked every one of United's boxes, and we didn't go for anyone, went for Ugarte. But with Ruben Amorim coming in, I think Ugarte could be really important and really key, really key addition for United. Alex B said, Portuguese clubs find gem on the cheap, but once big clubs circling, they tend to charge a fortune. Yeah, when Portuguese clubs go to South America and they got all this player for a really good price and that player for a really good price, but the minute Chelsea or Real Madrid go to South America, it is almost like the price doubles. And I think they're thinking, well, if Chelsea or Real Madrid coming for this player, they're another level of star. I almost think it is a little bit like that, because I really like the young guy we've been linked to a lot from Argentina, River Plate, Franco. But from what I'm hearing about him, whoa. Sorry. I was just checking something up. Marcos Leonardo, who Benfica side, who was linked to United, is now playing in Saudi. And I forgot what I was saying now. I forgot what I was saying. I liked the young player. What young player did I say I liked? Oh, yeah, Franco. I liked the young player from Franco at River Plate. And I feel like if Benfica wanted him, it's 15, 20 million. But now United, Chelsea and Real Madrid have shown an interest in him. I think they're going to want 30 million. I also did really like Marcos Leonardo, who went to Benfica. I thought looked quite good at Benfica and has now gone and playing for Al Hilal, which I think is weird. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I think if you're under the age of about 30 and you're going to Saudi Arabia, I really don't see the point. I mean, he was a good young player, and I guess the money he's going to make there is ridiculous. He was such a good young player, and he's sort of out in Saudi now. You know, in the League of Portugal, he played 14 games and got 7 goals, looked quite good. In 400 minutes, he got 7 goals and an assist in limited minutes. He had quite a good output at Benfica, and he's gone to Saudi, which is weird. But he was one of the ones I was going to name that I thought, I could have gone for on the cheap. Maybe that's a blessing in disguise, because I feel like if a player goes to Saudi, it makes me question their mentality a little bit, in terms of if a young player goes to Saudi, it makes me question their mentality a bit of, like, money's such a big thing for them. So maybe that's a blessing in disguise. But yeah. Expect to pay quite a lot if we try and sign players from Benfica, Sporting or Sqaud. So yeah, they get the young gems from South America on the cheap, and then they sell them for a fortune, and they've gotten very good at that. They've gotten very, very good at that as well. We've gotten steals from Sporting. I mean, I wouldn't say steals in terms of bargain prices, but I'd say everyone that we've got from Sporting has turned out well. Bruno's turned out well. Ronaldo's turned out well. Nani's turned out well. Yeah, I mean, they are basically steals. When I look at Bruno, I look at Nani, I look at Ronaldo, I think, yeah, Amorim, do not let us down. But we do seem to have a really good connection with Sporting. I want to talk about the youth a little bit more, and then we will talk about a bit more in detail. But we are looking at a few young players. Obviously, Naipan's one we've been linked to. Dibling's one we've been linked to. Franco out at River Plate's one we've been linked to. We have also been linked to some random names over in like Peru, Argentina, Brazil. A lot of them I cannot remember. So it's, INEOS are definitely looking in that South American market. We know with Nissan, Lausanne and the multi-club network, INEOS are quite interested in the idea of bringing in younger players from abroad. But I think because the focus is on improving the first team, and these players that are young from abroad is sort of like a long-term thing, and we need to improve the first team now. I don't know if there'll be any super young gems coming to United yet, but I think when we get to a point when we're good, I think you'll see us spending a lot more money on gems as well. Bruno was a good signing, but wasn't cheap when we factor in probably every add-on clause in that signing. Yeah, but I still think he wouldn't cost more than 50 million, even with the add-on clauses, if I'm going to be honest as well. Someone said Amorim doesn't play right back or left back. Yeah, it's a right wing back and a left wing back. Although I do find his left wing back seems to be a lot more offensive than his right wing back, which could work for us as well. Someone said players that come from nothing will always find it difficult to turn down big money, can protect their entire family for generations. And that is a true point I did not consider as well. And 95% of the players we're linked to is not true or not good enough. And unfortunately, we get linked to a lot of players. We get excited about the player and it's not true, or we get excited about a player and we realise that he's just not good enough as well. Steve says, Alice, I love the way you always so natural and authentic, Alice, and not performing for the camera. I appreciate that, Steve. I mean, for me with United, I just think I'm kind of used to it, this bad performances and stuff. So I don't feel any anger. I can't really act up to the camera and pretend I'm really angry about United, because I'm just like, I'm tired of it. I can't be bothered. But yeah, let's talk about the youth. So Van Nistelrooy said this: which youngsters are close to their debut? They're doing well in training. They're still very young, so they need time, but they are showing that they can help the team. Like Ethan Wheatley, who came on against Leicester, we continue to work with them. Ethan Wheatley's getting a few minutes here and there. He's done well when he came off the bench, but obviously he's been starved of service, because whoever plays striker for us is going to be starved of service. Now, obviously, Harry Amass is a player that could potentially get a debut. JC Fitzgerald, Jack Fletcher have also been on the bench, but I don't think their debut is close. Adam Lawrence said this on Sekou Kone. He's a player that's expected to get his debut come January, February, when we're in the early stages of the FA Cup, Sekou Kone is. And Adam Lawrence said on Sekou Kone, when you arrive at this club, you want to play football. You want to wear the Manchester United shirt and show people what you can do. Sekou Kone has to be patient. We're going gradually, but he's starting to get some game time. Sekou Kone, Obi Martin, they're going gradually. There's a lot of time out of football, but they're gradually getting game time, and they're absolutely performing. Sekou Kone was winning back the ball. From what I watched of Sekou Kone, I thought he was really, really good yesterday. I think he's a really exciting talent. He's good on the ball. He's good off the ball. And I think potentially he's one that you never know Amorim might look to bring through in the coming years. Amorim brought through a lot of young players at Sporting. Amorim puts a lot of faith in young players. Obviously, Coenda's a big one that was playing against Manchester City yesterday. So I do think that Sekou Kone and Obi Martin and Harry Amass are probably the three I'd say to watch in the next year that maybe Amorim gives minutes to. I do also think Mantato could get some decent minutes as well. Do you think Anthony Robinson will still play left wing back? So Anthony Robinson was my first choice pick for left back, but now we've got more of a left wing back. I prefer Anthony Robinson to Aït-Nouri, but I think Aït-Nouri would be better suited to a left wing back role. I think Alphonso Davies would be the dream. Like, if I could bring anyone in at left back, it'd be Alphonso Davies. But I don't think that is going to happen at all as well. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in the left wing back market, because now we're going for someone that can play wing back. It's going to be someone a lot more offensive. I don't want to see Lindelof playing left wing back. So I think we will sign someone in January for left wing back because of the injury issues we have. I think Luke Shaw and Malassia's injuries, could be quite reoccurring as well. Apparently Cole Palmer's injured. What's the news on that? Because I've got Cole Palmer in FPL. Someone just said Cole Palmer's injured. That'll be annoying if he is. Because I have to change my FPL. I don't know what that is. I tell you what, I took Cole Palmer out of FPL for 1 week, replaced him with Saka. That was the week that he got 4 goals. Enzo Maresca says on Cole Palmer was not able to train yesterday. He was not fit. We hope to have him back against Arsenal. We will assess him. So that could be a massive loss for Chelsea there as well. Some people saying Ruud van Nistelrooy must go. Amorim should only have people he wants around. I mean, look, if Amorim doesn't want Ruud around, you have to probably let Ruud go, because you don't want them getting on top of each other. But I think Ruud would be really good. I know Ruud's got a 2-year contract, but maybe he just sees out this year. He'd be really good because Amorim's coming in at the midway point to sort of integrating and then connecting with the players, tell him about the club. I'd quite like Amorim I would like Ruud van Nistelrooy working with Amorim. Tyrick Mitchell's a free option in the summer, true, but he's more of a left back than a left wing back. Buy Alphonso Davies, Frimpong, enough of buying stuff that are not proven. Have plenty of players in the academy, or buy Kirkus for Bournemouth. Davies is a real target, by the way. Already talking to him. We're talking to Davies, but I think we're talking to his agent. That is, yeah. I was going to say it could be agent talk. In the dream world, we get Frimpong and Alphonso Davies. Now that thingy-majiggy's in, Amorim, Frimpong and Alphonso Davies in a dream world we get. Now, Alphonso Davies is a free agent, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of information. I'm going to tell you a little bit of something about free agents and Alphonso Davies. When a player is a free agent, they know that they can sort of have a bit of power, a bit of control. And when a player's a free agent, their agent knows that they can have a bit of fun. Their agent wants to get the player the best move possible because he's available for free. Now, Alphonso Davies wants Real Madrid, and Alphonso Davies' agent will be working on him to get the deal he wants from Real Madrid. But if Real Madrid don't stop offering the money he wants, he may say, well, actually, I'm quite interested in Man United. And then there will be reports spreading that he's interested in Man United. Now, Alphonso Davies might have no interest in United, but he might go and tell his agent to chat with Man United, so then Real Madrid come back with an even better offer. You've got to remember that. Free agents can play the market. Alphonso Davies wants Real Madrid. I think he will go to Real Madrid. I think he could use United, and I think some of the news are linking us to Alphonso Davies could be just Alphonso Davies' team using us to get Madrid to hurry up and give him the offer he wants. I think we've always got to be cautious with those sort of kind of things as well. Not many free signings anymore, yeah. Mbappe 80 million signing free, hardly a free. Yeah, Mbappe basically was 80 million despite being available on the free as well. Many were concerned about Casemiro's ability on the ball, but it seems that's one of his attributes haven't declined yet. I think Casemiro's had a good season, weirdly. I don't think he's been amazing, and I would still sell him in the summer, but I do think Casemiro, bar the Liverpool game, and that I know that is a massive bar because he was atrocious versus Liverpool, but I do think he's actually been quite good in recent games, Casemiro as well. Must be on Amorim's call, Van Nistelrooy, I agree. Someone said Maguire will be able to run. Will Maguire be able to run the way I saw Sporting players run? I think he'd be able to put in a shift and give 100%. I think he would do that. I think Maguire's more than capable of that than a lot of players in the squad. But he's not as athletically good as certain players. He's quite physically good, and he's got some physical gifts, but not in terms of sort of pace, I guess, and speed. But I think Maguire will be fine under Amorim. Amorim likes to use 3 centre-backs. I expect Maguire to get a lot of minutes. I think Maguire will be fine under Amorim. I could see him getting his contract extended, maybe the 1 year as well. I think he'll probably be fine. In terms of being fine, what is the latest on injuries? Because there is a little bit of an injury boost coming in. Kobbie Mainoo and Mason Mount are a real possibility for minutes this weekend, providing no setbacks, says the United Menace. So I'd like to see Mainoo and Mount back in the United side. To be honest, this is our last game. We've got 2 games before Amorim comes in. If we have any doubts over Kobbie and Mason, do not play them and let than wait until Amorim's in the door, because I do not want them playing and picking up a slight injury. Now, Mason Mount will probably come on for 10 minutes and come off injured, as he always does, but I think with Kobbie Mainoo, unless we know for sure he's ready, I wouldn't play him. Now, I'd like to see Kobbie Mainoo or Garcia pivot. I think that is our best pivot. I think that will work really well under Amorim when he comes in. But if Kobbie Mainoo isn't 100% fit, there's no point. There's absolutely no point in playing him and risking it. And I think with Mason Mount, we know what happens every time we play him early. He gets injured again. In terms of Leny Yoro, Van Nistelrooy said Yoro, he was back for the first time with the team. He's obviously not ready to play, but there's a good sign there. Yoro is back with the team. The vibe is there, but he's not going to play it just yet. Maguire's too old. Hopefully we'll be gone in the summer. We need to move on from Maguire, Victor Shaw, and Anthony. I agree with you. Definitely need to move on from some of the older players. Casemiro really dictating with his passing as of late, says Alex B, and I do agree with that as well. I think Casemiro's passing's gone up a level. Andrew says, I think Rasmus is going to thrive in Amorim's system. No more dropping deep to pass to no runners. I agree. Højlund likes to run onto the ball. He likes to be fed, and Amorim's system is about doing that. Whether the United players can execute that is one question, but we do know Amorim's system would suit Højlund if the players can execute what he's asking. But we do have Mainoo and Mount potentially returning from injury. In terms of transfer news, because I just wanted to touch upon transfer news in today's show, it was said that Ruben Amorim doesn't want to take any player from Sporting in January because he doesn't want to break his relationship with the club and the fans. Many clubs have started work behind the scenes for Victor Gyökeres, but for United in January, they have no plans to break the relationship with Sporting, especially if it's something Amorim wanted. I think Man United could go for Sporting players in the summer, but I don't think United are going to go for any Sporting players in January. I think there was probably a gentleman's agreement between United, Amorim and Sporting that we can't sign any of their players in January to help them keep it. It was also said that Manchester United have inquired about Leroy Sané, who will be the future, who will be a free agent at the end of the season. He will make a decision on his future after talks with Bayern. I do like Sané. I think I prefer him to Goretzka, but he has had injury issues as well. But I think he could improve the attack, and I wouldn't say no to Leroy Sané, but apparently Arsenal are the favourites as well. Alex said it's baffling what's going on with Mount's injuries. Even Phil Jones had a few years before he got injury prone. It's crazy what's going on with Mount's injuries as well. What do I think of the Sané story? I like Sané. To be honest, I do. I'd take him at United, but I don't know. Yeah, it depends what happens with his contract situation in Bayern Munich and his form in this season. But I think it's possible, but I also think Arsenal could be looking at it. In terms of the lineup for tonight's game, though, I said Mason, Mount, Eriksen, and Mainoo could be on the bench for tomorrow's game. I don't know if any of them will start. Maybe Eriksen starts. I think surely Amass starts. Surely they're going to rotate and start Amass, not Garnacho and Rashford on the wings. And I said, do we rotate or do we go strong? I think we go strong with 3 or 4 rotations. So those 3 or 4 rotations can be people like Amass for Garnacho on the wing. But I think we'll win today. I think we can beat PAOK. I think we are a better team than them. But that being said, we've only won one of our last 11 games in Europe. But Ten Hag was here when that happened. So maybe without Ten Hag, we can get a win and pick up form. And Van Nistelrooy can continue on his unbeaten streak and be a second Carrick. But listen, people, I'm going to wrap up the live show here. Big up everybody who tuned into today's live show. I'm sorry that it was short and sweet. I just wanted to get through all the news before I started to fall asleep. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe if you're new. Bye.